1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Romesh Piris and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The Cabinet approval granted to gazette Private Data Security Bill. The new health guidelines issued for public and work-related activities, effective from today. 1 million Pfizer vaccine doses administered to school children. A total of 111 vaccination centres will be in operation today across the country. The coronavirus case tally is on the rise. The foreign ministers of Sri Lanka and Bangladesh discuss cooperation between the two countries within the framework of the IORA. The Public Security Minister says the police are helping the health authorities to maintain guidelines issued to prevent the pandemic. International news, the US strongly opposes to unilateral effort to change Taiwan's status quo or undermine peace across Taiwan. Sports cricket, Charit and Wanidu included in the ICC's most valuable team of the tournament. Local news in detail now. The Department of Government Information says the Cabinet of Ministers has given the approval to publish the Gazette notification pertaining to Private Data Security Bill and to table it in the Parliament. The relevant proposal was submitted to the Cabinet by the President in his capacity as the Minister of Technology. The Private Data Security Bill was drafted in a bid to ensure the security of the private data when using the collected data by institutions such as government establishments, banks, telecommunication facility providers and hospitals, and to make provisions that are necessary for the digital economy of Sri Lanka. The State Minister of Production, Supply and Regulation of Pharmaceuticals, Channa Jayasumana, says 1 million Pfizer vaccine doses have been administered to school children aged between 16 and 19 years thus far. He also said Pfizer vaccine doses are being administered to children between the ages of 12 and 18 years with chronic illnesses and to the differently abled. Accordingly, 26,108 vaccine doses have been administered to children with various health complications as well. Moreover, the State Minister Jayasumana said Sri Lanka will commence administering the Pfizer vaccine as the booster dose to those over the age of 60, starting from tomorrow. He said the booster vaccine rollout will be carried out in the western and southern provinces and in the Anuradhapura and Ampara districts. A total of 111 vaccination centres will be in operation today across the country. The Presidential Secretariat said vaccination centres have been established in 15 districts, including 19 in Batticaloa, 14 each in Ampara and Trincomalee, 13 in Colombo and 11 in Kaluthra. 21,999 vaccine doses were administered against COVID-19 in the country yesterday. Accordingly, the Health Ministry said 13,674,957 individuals have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. A total of 29,679,072 vaccine doses have been administered in the country since January this year. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka COVID-19 Technical Committee has granted approval for the use of an oral antiviral pill, Molnupiravir, in Sri Lanka. Merck's Molnupiravir is the first oral antiviral medication to be approved for the treatment of COVID-19. For more details on vaccination clinics operating in your local area and the type of vaccines administered can be obtained by visiting the official website of the Health Ministry, www.health.gov.lk. Another 220 COVID-19 cases have been detected today in the country, raising the number of confirmed infections to 552,274. Accordingly, 732 coronavirus cases have been detected in Sri Lanka on Monday, the 15th of November. The epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health said 13,947 persons are currently receiving treatment for coronavirus at several facilities across the country. Earlier today, 382 persons who recovered from COVID-19 were discharged from hospitals, raising the number of recoveries in the country to 524,311. 199 195 suspected COVID-19 cases are also under medical observation at present. Sri Lanka coronavirus death toll is currently at 14,016. The Foreign Minister, Professor G.L. Pieris, met the Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momin, at the State Guest House Padma in Dhaka on Monday. The two ministers discussed in detail cooperation between the two countries within the framework of the Indian Ocean Rim Association, or IORA, with particular reference to conservation of marine resources and security dimensions. The two ministers also discussed the active commercial relationship between the two countries, with Sri Lankan investment into Bangladesh being in the range of approximately $2.5 billion. About 110 Sri Lankan companies are operating in Dhaka and are excelling especially in the service sector such as insurance, banking and power. However, there is scope for improvement of the volume of trade, which is presently at the level of $200 million annually. Sri Lanka has reciprocally offered to assist with the training of nurses in Bangladesh in educational institutions locally. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local stories, the Public Security Minister Sarath Weerasekara said in Parliament that the police were only helping the health authorities to maintain the guidelines issued in order to prevent further spreading of COVID-19 pandemic by putting up barriers and checking buses which approach Colombo. Minister Weerasekara came out with this remark in response to Leader of the Opposition Sajith Premadasa and SJB MPs made a vociferous allegation in the House that police have prevented people coming to Colombo City during the day to attend an impending rally to be held at the Hyde Park in Colombo. The Samaki Jan Balwege leader earlier alleged that police have used unorthodox methods to prevent people coming to Colombo today to attend the rally. Several SJB MPs raised objections, creating an uproar in the House at the time of the discourse. The Reverend Father Cyril Garmini Fernando has arrived at the Criminal Investigations Department premises for the second consecutive day this morning to record a statement in connection with a complaint filed by the country's intelligence chief. He provided a statement for nearly 8 hours yesterday. On October 25th, Director of the State Intelligence Service Major General Suresh Sali had filed a complaint with the CID pertaining to the allegations made by the Reverend Father Garmini and several other individuals during an online forum held on the 23rd of October to brief Sri Lankan community living overseas on the Easter Sunday attacks. The government has decided to assess the damage to the paddy lands that have been damaged due to the recent heavy rains and provide relief to the farmers who own those lands. Accordingly, the Minister of Agriculture Mahindananda Alugamge has instructed the Agriculture Insurance Board and the Department of Agriculture to assess the damage and take steps to provide relief. The Minister instructed the Department of Agrarian Development to prepare and submit relevant estimates to provide relief, including seed paddy and organic fertilizer required for the recultivation of paddy to the paddy land owners affected by the torrential rains. The Defence Secretary, retired General Kamal Gunaratne, says the Sandhiru Saya will be vested on Venerable Mahasangha while opening the sacred site for devotees on November 18th. The crest gem was placed at the tip of the stupa pinnacle earlier this month. Arriving at the Sandhiru Saya construction site in Anuradhapura to view the progress of the scheduled work, he said families of the deceased veteran war heroes and differently abled brave men will also arrive at the stupa premises on the opening day ceremony to witness the blessed noble event. He further said Venerable Mahasangha and a number of distinguished invitees will arrive at the crest gem unveiling ceremony, which will be graced by His Excellency the President and the Honourable Prime Minister. And that ends local news for now.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
New guidelines have been issued by the Director General of Health Services, Dr. Asela Gunawardena, that will be effective from today to the 30th of November. According to the new guidelines, outdoor private gatherings are not permitted. Sports activities will be allowed without spectators. Religious places can function with individual worshipping permitted. Special festivals, occasions, religious prayers or services should be conducted as per the guidelines issued by the Minister of Health. Exhibitions and conventions have been allowed to commence from the 1st of December with adequate preparations and precautions. Examinations can also be conducted in physical attendance with strict adherence to health guidelines. Furthermore, tuition classes can function at 50% of the usual capacity only for ordinary and advanced level classes. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Watch Life is brought to you by
Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission.
The Minister of Education, Dinesh Gunawardena, says academic activities for students of all grades will resume from next week. The Education Minister noted academic activities in schools resumed after the 1st of October. He said the government has taken all measures to ensure the safety of students and teachers as well. Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said before reopening schools, they managed to vaccinate 240,000 teachers against COVID-19. At present, academic activities are being conducted for students in the primary section and grades 10, 11, 12 and 13. And that was Watchlight.
Please be aware on institutes, registration and accreditation when you are selecting vocational courses which leads to achieve your future career goals. Do not waste your valuable time and money. Confirm institutes, registration and accreditation by TVEC. For more information, visit nearest district divisional secretariat offices and meet career guidance practitioners or skill development officers. Message from Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission.
Coming up, World News.
In the headlines, the US strongly opposes to unilateral effort to change Taiwan's status quo or undermine peace across Taiwan. The EU agrees on new sanctions against Belarus. The US technology giant to invest $740 million in Australia. World news in detail now. The US President Joe Biden has told his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping that the US is strongly opposed to unilateral efforts to change the status quo or undermine peace across Taiwan. The remarks were made during the two leaders' first virtual summit. Mr. Biden and Mr. Xi also discussed other controversial issues like China's practices in Xinjiang and Hong Kong. These are the most substantial discussions both leaders have had since Mr. Biden took office in January. The White House said that President Biden underscored that the United States remains committed to the One China policy. The One China policy is a cornerstone of Sino-US relations. Under this, the US recognizes and has formal ties with China rather than the island of Taiwan, which China sees as a breakaway province, to be reunited with the mainland one day. European Union members have agreed to impose new sanctions on Belarus over a crisis that has left a large number of migrants stuck in its border areas. The EU's foreign policy chief, Joseph Borrell, revealed this following a meeting of foreign ministers from its member states on Monday. Thousands of migrants believed to be from the Middle East and elsewhere have gathered on Belarus' border with Poland, which is a member of the EU. The EU has accused Belarus of encouraging migrants to cross into the bloc in retaliation for its earlier sanctions against Minsk. Google has announced that it will invest $740 million in Australia over the next 5 years. It is the US technology giant's largest investment in the country to date. Google says the money will be used to build a research hub, increase its cloud computing capacity and fund partnerships with local organizations. The move, named the Digital Future Initiative, is expected to directly create 6,000 jobs and support 28,000 overall. Back to the headlines of the world news. The US strongly opposes to unilateral effort to change Taiwan's status quo or undermine peace across Taiwan. The EU agrees on new sanctions against Belarus. The US technology giant to invest $740 million in Australia. And that was world news.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
In development news, the Minister of Ports has submitted a proposal to the Cabinet to construct buildings as multi-purpose buildings with the contribution of the private sector in the areas where the plots of lands have been allotted. It is reported that the Sri Lanka Postal Department has reserved plots of land in several parts of the country for the construction of new post offices, but due to the lack of financial allocations, these constructions are yet to commence. The Cabinet Memorandum has pointed out that this program will provide an opportunity for the Postal Department to generate additional revenue while meeting the need for new buildings. And that was development news.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Moving on with sports news.
Cricket news. The International Cricket Council announced the most valuable team of the tournament after the conclusion of the T20 World Cup in the UAE, in which two Sri Lankan players, Charith Asalanka and Wanindu Hasaranga, included in the 12-player squad. The list includes 3 Australian players, 1 each from New Zealand and Pakistan, 2 Sri Lankans and as many South African and English players. Pakistan's Shaheen Shah Afridi has been named the 12th man on the ICC list. The ICC named Pakistan captain Babar Azam as the skipper of the side, with Jos Buttler picked as the wicketkeeper. Australian opener David Warner, who won the Man of the Tournament award on Sunday, has also found a place on the list. No Indian cricketer was named in the squad. And that was Sports News.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U-Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In a year marked by challenging operating conditions, Bank of Ceylon reiterated its position as the undisputed market leader in Sri Lanka's banking sector, demonstrating its unparalleled ability to truly support its customers and the overall economy in trying times. Preserving its market leadership, Bank of Ceylon has delivered unrivaled performance during 9-month period ended 30th September 2021 this year, while achieving another milestone by surpassing 3 trillion rupees in its asset base. And that was Business News.
Business News, Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 Go sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work.
In economic news, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka says the merchandise trade deficit narrowed to $495 million in the month of September compared to $525 million in September 2020. The Central Bank said earnings from exports continued to record values in excess of $1 billion for the fourth consecutive month in 2021, while import expenditure remained at almost the same level as in September 2020. The central bank, in a statement, noted that the financial account of the balance of payments strengthened during September with the receipt of the proceeds of the syndicated loan facility from the China Development Bank and remaining proceeds of the bilateral currency swap arrangement between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. That was economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
In the weather report, the Department of Meteorology predicts showers at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, northwestern and northern provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere, particularly during the afternoon or at night. It added fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters can be expected at times at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Strong winds up to 40 to 50 kilometers per hour are also predicted over the island. And that was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
And to end this news broadcast, back to the headlines. The Cabinet approval granted to Gazette Private Data Security Bill. The new health guidelines issued for public and work-related activities, effective from today. 1 million Pfizer vaccine doses administered to school children. A total of 111 vaccination centres will be in operation today across the country. The coronavirus cases tally is on the rise. The foreign ministers of Sri Lanka and Bangladesh discuss cooperation between the two countries within the framework of the IORA. The Public Security Minister says the police are helping the health authorities to maintain guidelines issued to prevent the pandemic. International news, the US strongly opposes to unilateral effort to change Taiwan's status quo or undermine peace across Taiwan. Sports, cricket, Charit and Manindu included in the ICC most valuable team of the tournament. And with that, we conclude this news broadcast.